All right. So I have a small issue that I would like to make apparent. It's not like an issue with it's not trending. It's not a trending issue because it is like solved law, in a sense, I guess. But I have a issue with the way that people speak, which is weird to say coming from somebody like me, because I think you should be able to say whatever the hell it is that you want. So where my issue lies is the people that have an issue with me being able to say whatever the hell I want. So it's like a weird, you could probably argue a little bit of hypocrisy here.
Well, just me letting you finish speaking, I was able to understand.
So one could argue that, well, he should be able to say he has an issue with you, with the way that you speak, which, you would be right. However, I think you telling me and then writing into law about not being able to say whatever it is that I want freely is where I have the issue. So where I will now start to be a little bit more specific is a lot of people's main argument for this level of ignorance of not allowing him to say whatever the hell it is that he wants to say is what they like to bring up, this case from 1942 of Chaplinsky versus, I think it's New Hampshire. I could probably look it up real quick, but it's the Chaplinsky case. It's a very fundamental case from 1942, and it brings up this word, this conjugation, these two words called fighting words, and they use that as a legal terminology. They've deemed it into law as legal terminology that can be used to charge you for insinuating or inciting violence. So the vernacular that they use is anything that would provoke or incite a reaction out of somebody that is not used in a particular type of speech that is like, I guess you could say, progressive. So if it doesn't progress in the dialogue and is just meant to attack you, it is not a protected speech.
What?
Yeah. This is it's not like very precise what it is that I say, but it is along those lines. So that kind of speech, so you telling somebody something, calling somebody something that would in turn provoke them into a violent reaction is a justified reaction because you spoke with fighting words, not your First Amendment right. This is the argument that they made, and they actually quoted, because I read through the court case, and there was two quotes of what this Chaplinsky guy said to, I think it was an officer or somebody, where he said, "Fuck you, fascist." And there was another one, I forgot what it was, but there was another one that he said, and that was used in the court case to justify fighting words.
What is fighting words?
That's what I just told you here. Here, I'll give you what it is that they typically use when they argue about somebody being held, and that can be charged with this fighting words. The Supreme Court in 1942 has defined fighting words as words that, quote, this is what it says in the court document, by their very utterance inflict injury or tend to incite an immediate breach of the peace. All right. Simply using a racial slur is not enough to meet the legal definition of fighting words. They must be directed at an individual in a way that is likely to provoke an immediate violent response. Okay. This is in the court hearing in the Supreme Court. And so my issue with this is that this is what everybody likes to talk about when it comes to, you know, people not being able to say exactly what it is that they want or how they feel about a certain individual. But on the caveat side, it actually doesn't even matter, because that very same court case hearing has been narrowed, diminished, and completely dismantled throughout the cases, you know, throughout the years. And in fact, a fighting words, which is weird that even lawyers will sometimes bring this up in an argument, saying that fighting words, you could be charged with fighting words. That in the 80 some odd year, 83 years, 83 years, because it was 1942. So 83 years since that Chaplinsky case, there has never been anybody charged with fighting words.
I don't say you can be charged with fighting words. Now, I can understand how you cannot be, how you wouldn't be charged for fighting somebody because of their words. Now, I can understand how, like, so I believe personally that you can say whatever it is the fuck you want. But I also don't think that you are immune from consequences. So, for example, if I say something to you that you felt incited or provoked you.
Well, there's never been any conviction.
What I'm saying is, I can understand why if I called it, say if I say something to you and you beat the shit out of me, and I call the police and say, hey, he beat the shit out of me. Well, why did he do that? Because I said blah, blah, blah. I can understand the cop saying, well, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? I'm not going to arrest this guy for assaulting you for you saying that. So I can understand, like...
you can understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that's not...
Because I don't think you're immune from consequence.
Well, that's displaying some sort of immunity. That is immunity. He's not having any immunity for assaulting this individual. Where's his lack of immunity of his consequences for assaulting somebody?
You might not get it right now, but so next time, for example, so let's say I say something to you and you beat the shit out of me, and I call the cop, and the cop says, well, hey man, I would have beat the shit out of you too. So I would, if I really believed in what I said, I would probably learn how to beat the shit out of you. So that next time I say something, I'm a little more ready for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a little ridiculous.
I get that, but let's just say somebody comes to me and says some shit about my kids or something. If I headbutt this motherfucker, I don't think I should go to jail for it. I'm teaching this dude guidelines. I'm teaching this dude boundaries.
Well, that's what you did. You taught him that.
Yeah, but now I can go to jail for it because he has the right to say whatever the fuck he wants. He does have the right to say whatever the fuck he wants. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot be prosecuted for that. But that doesn't mean I can't headbutt the fuck out of this motherfucker either. Look at women, for example.
Yeah,
they can say and do whatever the fuck they want.
That's just you thinking with your emotions, man. That is an emotional response to somebody saying whatever. If you allow you're giving words power to the point that you're headbutting somebody. So you need to learn to control yourself, because this is my issue, is that people are allowing these things to happen where words don't need to have power. They don't need it. Such as the word.
Words are very powerful, brother.
Well, because people allow them to be. I think your conjugation, your meaning, what it is that you're trying to say, not just me calling you something, that should not have any power on you. Because you are what you perceive yourself to be, not what I tell you you are.
Look at women today. Look at these woke people in these protests. They're sitting there and they're yelling, they're spitting and all this shit. It's because they've never met boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think boundaries is a good thing. It's actually
Well, you spit on me, I'm fucking you up.
right, but
Just because you say something, it has no impact on
it doesn't.
me.
Hear me out. If a woman is sitting there yelling and just being belligerent and shit like that, she's like that because she's never experienced boundaries. So if you take, I wouldn't be able to talk to you or an average dude on the street like the average woman yells at somebody because I've been met with boundaries. But I can still articulate the same thing in a calm manner because I've been met with boundaries.
Have you been met with boundaries, or have you been taught decorum?
Right, but through boundaries. That's how you teach decorum. It's through boundaries.
Yeah, but you don't have to cross those boundaries to learn them.
The best way to learn a limit is by crossing it.
Yeah, I've learned through hard knocks. I get that, but it's not always the case. You've from the very beginning, you've taught us. Well, you've been teaching us the weight of the world without actually bearing any of the weight.
My freedom of speech has been able to get me to say whatever I wanted. Me learning boundaries is what got me to be able to say it better.
And you're just speaking of prudence.
No, because so you're telling me that a woman that's just sitting there yelling and being belligerent is saying
She's not saying anything that matters to me.
Exactly, because that's not prudent. It's just being direct. She's not being direct. She's being
belligerent. Yeah.
She has a right to be belligerent.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are met with boundaries and repercussions of that belligerence, then you learn.
Yeah.
Because now your ability to speak and no restrictions of it has not ever made you think about what you say. You are speaking emotionally. But by facing repercussions, now you think analytically. You're still saying the same thing.
All right. So how did I reach where I'm at?
Because you were taught by a dude that's already learned that.
And I didn't go through it.
Yeah, which is all right.
So you can.
You can, but when you also have immunity, like a woman does, of no repercussions. So your sister was raised in the same environment, but let's be real, she has a lot more immunity than you do in today's society. Like you walk in a Target or some shit like that, you don't watch what you say, you just make sure you say it correctly.
Yeah.
To where your sister, she doesn't have to. She just chooses to. Yeah.
I don't understand what you're not getting.
I don't understand what I'm saying that I think it's okay that if you say something, you get head bunted. I think it's okay.
I mean, I do agree, to let people police themselves. Because when you police yourselves, there will be a very abrupt but natural level of decorum implemented into that group.
Yeah.
So I do agree in that level.
So it can go both ways too. So let's just say I say something you don't like and you headbutt me. And the only thing you did by doing that was make me beat the holy fuck out of you. Now you've also learned that you can't just go headbutting somebody just because they say something you don't like. The lesson still continues.
Yeah.
So let's say I say something you don't like, you headbutt me, and then not only did I tell you what I not like, I proceed to beat the holy fuck out of you. Now you're even going to watch who the fuck you headbutt.
Yeah, that just reminds me of an eye for an eye.
Just called repercussions, bro.
Yeah, it could be snipped right there. You just take him away to jail and allow him to think about his actions. I still got the headbutt. I still got fucked up. I'm still bleeding. But this dude is also now in jail. It ends right there.
I agree, man. But don't get me wrong. I understand and I agree. I'm just saying that I understand benefits. I'm
not blaming, the guy headbutting me. He's just thinking emotionally. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have deserved it. But for him to not have any repercussions of his actions because all I did was speak, he allowed the words to control him.
Yeah,
In turn,
I agree.
he proceeded to physically harm me. I didn't do anything to him. He did something to me. So for him to not have any repercussions on his actions, and I think that's ridiculous.
I agree. Don't
Because
get me wrong.
if I say something to him and then he headbutts me and I shoot him, it's no different.
I think you should be able to say whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get headbutt. I will like to make that clear.
I think you should be able to say whatever you want. But I also think that if I'm intelligent and I headbutt you because of something I said, and then you proceed to beat the shit out of me, I hope that later on that night, I'm like, dude, that just spiraled out of control because I didn't like what he said. An intelligent person would still learn. Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't intelligent enough to not beat the shit out of him. So
Well,
that would also assume
you don't learn
that,
these things. Sometimes you got to cross that line to learn these things.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll agree to that.
You know, I remember the last fist fight I had. It wasn't I didn't start this, but I can also say that at the end of the day, it took time out of my life. Even though I was justified in my own mind to do what I did, at the end of the day, I know I proved nothing.
Yeah, because I guarantee you haven't seen that dude since.
Never. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what he looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just one of many people I've punched in the face in my life. You know? And I've never won anything from it.
Yeah.
I've never beat up a dude and been like, now my life is complete. It's like I've literally never won anything from fighting. But I didn't need jail to teach me that, you know? And although that dude whose face got hit quite a few times, he didn't get justice, but I no longer punched another person I haven't punched a person in the face since. And that was a long time ago. This wasn't even worse. This was just an act, but I've never actually punched anybody because it's something they said, though. Now that I think about it. Yeah, I can't think of any time I punched somebody because it's something they said. Yeah. So maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Yeah, I guess maybe just words have never had that kind of power over me, but I don't think any party should be going to jail, to be honest with you. I think that
No.
I think just sometimes you lose too, you know what I mean? It's like if you say what you want because you are allowed to say it, but I also agree that you aren't immune for consequences from it, but you still want to win. And let's just say, all right, I say something to you and you beat the shit out of me. And I call the police and you go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I win.
No, he didn't win.
Your face is still fucked up.
Yeah,
right?
his face is still fucked up. At the end of the day, no, because if he just fucked you up and then he just went home and then ate spaghetti and watched fucking Jerry Springer, he won that at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then one day he's gonna.
Yeah, but you were talking about, karma and something else.
It's not karma. It's just
whatever it may be. Something's going to happen.
He will walk away thinking impunity too, and that impunity leads to arrogance, and that arrogance will lead you into a position to where you're getting fucked up.
Yeah,
So you might not have. Who would have known? I guarantee you that dude that I got in a fight with a long time ago, he doesn't even know that I now vowed to never get in a fight again.
Yeah,
and
he could have gotten in multiple fights after that. Who knows?
Yeah, he'd probably start shit with 100 fucking people.
Shit, he could be dead. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because he might have started shit with the wrong fucking guy this time.
Yeah.
But thanks to him, I'm no longer punching anyone in the face.
Yeah.
So it didn't even take me getting my ass beat to learn that. That one altercation just realized, man, I'm doing this for no reason.
Mm.
And punching this dude in the face multiple times, it isn't like I taught him anything. Maybe, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not solving anything anyway.
Mm.
You know? So I do, I agree with you. I don't think words are at the end of the day are just words. They have no weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and neither should they. They shouldn't have any weight.
Yeah. But at the same time, I do think physical force sometimes will make you think.
Yeah.
You know? So
Which I'm not disagreeing on that part. You know, and
because nothing else is working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's be honest. All these girls you see in trains slapping dudes and shit, it's because they've never been met with boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's a reason why you can't just go to a dude and smack a coffee cup out of his hands.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not fear. It's just that you know that there will be resistance here, and this isn't the way to get your point across. Smacking a dude's shit out of his hand is not the way you need to tell somebody something. But go to 9 out of 10 women, and they've never learned that.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the benefits of being punched in the face for what you say. That's why most men are able to just be peaceful.
Yeah.
You know? Because you do fuck around and find out over on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. You should say what you want. But when you're met with boundaries, it makes you say what you need to say.
Yeah. And I agree with you there. The thing is if nobody allowed words to bear any weight, there wouldn't be people headbutting other people because they say certain things.
The same thing can be done. So say like
I just think it's weird that, sorry to interrupt, but I just think it's weird that one side, because you say something, you get, you know, consequences. You need to learn from this. Instead, why not the side that wants to have physical altercations? Why don't they learn something from this as well? Why don't they learn to not allow words to control them? Why is it that the one that says something has to be the one that learns something, that you don't fucking say this around here? You know?
Yeah.
You don't say that shit. Why don't he learn that this motherfucker can say whatever the hell he wants? You don't lay your goddamn hands on him. You know? I just think it's weird that just because you say something doesn't mean that you should have to learn from something that you say. I think it should also be on the other person's part, you know, to learn from what this person is saying. Because at the end of the day, and I've said this a lot over the years, is that people ridicule when reason is against them. And I think if people understood what the weight of that saying is that you automatically win when somebody insults you.
Yeah. But tell somebody that thinks emotionally. So say if you got a guy that thinks emotionally, if he's around another dude and he's erratic and he doesn't like what you say and gets in a fist fight with you, and he got in that fist fight with you because he's not emotionally stable. He has no longer articulate his thoughts, so he resorts to emotions.
Yeah.
And you take that same guy and put him in a group of women, he'd be calm because he's more emotionally secure than they are, you know?
For the most part.
For the most part. 9 times out of 10. Not all the time, you know? But I don't know how you get it to that point.
It just has to be
words are just words.
It just has to be some sort of evolutionary change that
But there are words you can tell me that I will fuck you up. So like a threat to my children or something like that. This is what happens when you say it.
Yeah, I've had a
now
conversation
imagine what's
with
going to
somebody.
happen to you if you actually do it.
I've had a conversation with somebody like this. They wanted to use the argument that, what if you and your mom was in a grocery store and somebody came up to you and said, "I'm going to fuck your mom up. You know, I don't like the way she looks, and I'm going to beat the shit out of her."
Yeah, I mean, there has to be some validity there. You know, I have to really think that you're going to do it. But
yeah, so
like some troll on the internet is not going to say, "I'm going to beat the shit out of your daughter," and I'm going to.
Yeah,
that's not going to work on me. But
well, the thing is, if the dude's standing in front of me, right, and he's telling me these things, by no legal bounds, Can I do anything about that?
No.
Can't do anything about it. All right. The moment he makes a step after a threat like that is when I'll fuck him up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you should be I don't think it should be illegal to threaten people.
Yeah, I don't think it should be illegal either. I think you should be able to, because of the definition of freedom. If anybody looks up the definition of freedom, it's just look it up, because it's any restriction on freedom of speech, it's no longer free.
Yeah,
it is
the word freedom is directly attributed to speech.
Yeah.
So it's, again, you can say whatever you want, just don't think you're immune to consequences from it. You know what I mean? You should be, but you have to be real and just know that you're not.
But at the end of the day, we can boil it down to, he said that he was threatening my mom, but it wasn't me punching him in the face. Wasn't because of what he said. It was the action that he did after the fact. You know, it's just the reason he could have made a step and not said anything, and I wouldn't have hit him because I wouldn't have been on guard.
Yeah.
You know, for him saying
he's allowed to say it. Just the minute you act on it is when we got a problem.
Yeah.
So when I say you're not immune from consequence, I don't mean the consequence should be jail, because it's not illegal to say something.
Yeah, we can clarify that too, because.
You know what I mean? But I do. Yeah. When I say consequence, I don't mean police. I mean,
the analogy that you used before about if the cop said, "Well, I mean, you shouldn't have said that," be like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'll find my own way."
Yeah.
For him to have his consequence. Yeah, it's either going to be me or the cop. Yeah, no, I agree there.
Yeah.
So
getting a cop involved is you want someone else to give somebody consequence.
Yeah, we can argue the moral implications on that too, or the ethical implications on that. But
sometimes you lose, man. Sometimes you just fucking lose. Sometimes you say something, you get head bunted, and you can either reword it or get better at saying it from a safer distance, trying to keep yourself from getting your ass beat. You can't just walk.
That's why we have guns, you know, because there's no reason to defend your honor.
Dude, I knew a dude that carried a gun just because he didn't want to get blood on his shoes. I ain't getting in a fist fight with these animals. No. I don't want to get blood on my shoes.
Why would I want to do that, man?
Why would I want to physically hurt my fist?
I want to stroll through my life unimpeded by people's emotional reactions. And if by carrying a gun achieves that, so be it.
So why wait to see if you are equal?
Yeah, it's not about equal fight.
Yeah. I want complete domination here.
Yeah.
When it comes to my life and everyone else's, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
It's about me getting through it. I'm walking out.
Because I don't know what's after this.
Yeah.
This is my one and only life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do. Dude, I watched a dude get somebody put a finger in his eye, dude. You ain't got to be strong to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want some bitch fucking clawing my eyeballs out, I'll shoot her right in the fucking face.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, dude. I'm not seeking fairness here, man.
Yeah. But that's my rant.
Been chimping out for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, we've been chimping out.
It's so funny, dude.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like
So that was in turn my issue when it comes to people's vernaculars, people's words and stuff, which isn't really an issue. It's just a point that I'd like to make, because you can't cherry pick the First Amendment.
No.
There's no way to do it. Because so much so that there has never been a conviction of fighting words in 83 years since the conception of the 1942 case with Chaplinsky. There's been multiple cases that's been, narrowing and diminishing.
You said this the other day. So say if me and you are standing next to each other and somebody says something that I consider fighting words, but it didn't make you want to fight. So how are they fighting words?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that you are a pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that you chose to be so emotionally insecure that these words prompted you to fight.
If somebody said what would deem in the realms of what fighting words are to two different people, and one reacted and one didn't, what is it?
Yeah, it's just words, man.
Yeah.
It's just words.
Does it make it fighting words because he reacted?
First of all, if anybody says, dude,
You know?
these are fighting words, I just think you sound kind of cringe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't think of any time that somebody said something to me that would make me fight.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't think there's words out there that would make me want to resort to violence. I can't think of any. Jumping out.
He's jumping out.
Yeah, so I don't. It's the same thing with that inciting a riot thing. If it was illegal to incite, then why isn't that Maxine Waters in jail? She was inciting people to, when you see a Trump supporter, approach them at a gasoline station, and in their restaurant. That's inciting.
Yeah,
but it isn't, because what you say isn't going to make me do anything. But because Maxine Waters says something, I'm not going to go do what Maxine Waters says.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is her? She?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I think inciting violence.
How do you incite a violence?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Because they didn't incite me.
Yeah. You can be probably incited, but that's just because you're a sheep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, why does the one that said something have to be the one with the repercussions and not the one that actually fucking did it? I mean, they do.
Yeah.
They do, because, you know, like if I tell you to go and burn this car and you go and burn the car, you're getting arrested for arson, you know, and destruction of property. But
why did you do it? Because she said so. It's just fucking retarded.
Yeah. So what if I tell you to fucking jump off like that analogy?
Yeah.
I tell you to jump off a bridge, you're gonna do that too? Like,
how do you fucking incite something? It's not my fault.
It's the dumbest fucking shit ever.
You should be in jail for being dumb enough to do something somebody says.
Yeah. So there's this thing that Carl Jung said. He said that nobody can make you feel anything without your participation.
I can agree with that.
It's your participation that allows it to work.
So.
Yeah. If you just don't participate in it.
Yeah. Because if that was the case, if you can say something derogatory to a tree and the tree would beat you up.
Yeah.
Or the tree would die.
Yeah. But the tree but the tree don't participate in it.
The tree is like, dude, I don't know what the fuck this dude's saying. Dude, just sitting here yelling at
me. This dude just feeding me carbon dioxide, man. It just keeps saying that.
Been sitting here for 400 years and this dude walks up.
Yeah.
Mind my own business, and this dude's want to start talking shit.
But to end off the video, all right, we're gonna because I haven't done a word of the day in a while. I've been chimping out. I keep forgetting to do it. So for this video, the word of the day is going to be discrimination. And it's the recognition and understanding of the difference between one thing and another. I
would like to go. We won't do it today, but man, I can go forever about that.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I think it's not only your right, I think it's in your best interest to discriminate. And I can prove that because everyone discriminates almost every second of every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's used in a derogatory way.
Yeah.
But it's actually very important you do so.
Mm-hmm.
Your own best interest.
Yeah. But if anybody watching this up to this point, you're a real ass G for that.
Or you're chimping out.
Yeah. And if you didn't, you probably chimped out and left.
Don't want to look ugly?
Yeah, you don't want to look ugly. So for anybody that's still watching,
like and subscribe, hit your notification.
Yeah, whatever. We actually don't really like YouTube. They kind of don't like the way they're chimping out and that they don't like what we say. So our videos on YouTube's end has been pretty suppressed.
Yeah.
And so
don't talk about trannies on YouTube.
Don't talk about trannies on YouTube because any video that you put after that, it won't get no traction.
Yeah, dude.
So with that being said, we have X, which I prefer X. I don't know about you, but I prefer X.
It's not owned by Israel.
Yeah. And I prefer Rumble. We're also on Spotify. So whatever you guys want to listen on. We have all those means. So whichever one you're listening on, I appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one.
Stop being ugly.
He's jumping out.
Jump it out.